time, story time, story time. So I call this one, she wanted to go to the zoo. The zoo, for real. Who wants to go to the zoo for a first encounter? You can't make this stuff up. Like, people are weird. I met this girl on a dating app. I think this one was BLK. And you know, we chatted on the phone, inbox, FaceTime. This is when I started getting hip to, oh yeah, we need to FaceTime before we go anywhere, because I need to see that you are who you say you are, and that your body ain't nobody else's body, and that all them filters and angles you've been hitting me with are actually accurate. Everything's going cool, right? We decide, I'm like, hey, where you want to hook up? We need to, you know, see each other or whatever. And she's like, hey, let's go to the zoo. And I'm like, the zoo? Are you sure you want to go to the zoo? Like, you don't want to get coffee or, you know, go for a walk? And she's like, no, I really enjoy the zoo. So I'm like, okay, weird much? I meet her at the zoo. We walking around the zoo. And she's, you know, she's a cool girl. Like, you know, nice looking. I mean, pretty smart. You know, she was working on her PhD. I was having a good time. And so we get to like the gorilla cage, right? To the gorilla cage. And so we walk by, and this gorilla, well, these two gorillas are going at it. I'm talking, I mean, going at it. Like, and so I'm like, these two need to get a room. And I start walking away. So she's standing there like this. Like breathing all heavy, them bitter lip, everything. And I turn around and I'm like, you all right? And I'm like, let's give these two some privacy. And I started, I'm like walking away. And she's still like, this time she like this, like, biting her lip, and she breathing all heavy, like, and she's like, maybe we should get a room. And I'm like, what? And then like, so I come back, I'm like, hey, you cool? And so she starts walking, and like I you know, she grabs my hand, and now she's holding my hand, and I can feel her whole body like shivering, like quivering. And I'm like, you okay? And then she like, right, and I'm like, Tom, what the fuck have you done again? Cause this shit ain't normal. So she's like, all of a sudden, she's just like, and she's all on me, like all on me, rubbing my shoulders, rubbing the back of my head. And she's just like, you know, rubbing my beard. And she's just like, you smell so good. You look so good. Oh my gosh, you look so good. And just all lovey-dovey. Now, she had never been like this before, the gorilla incident. And I'm like surprised. And at the same time, like, shorty was bad. We walking, you know, and she's like, hey, we should, you know, wrap this up. We should get out of here. What do you got plans for the rest of the day? And I was like, nothing really. She was like, let's leave. Let's go out of here. And, you know, and I'm thinking like, you know, hey, it's about to go down. So she like, we walk into the door, and she like, I mean, she's run up and all on me, like, you know what I'm saying, whispering in my ear. I'm legit like, okay. We get to the exit. We walk outside the exit. Completely role reversal. Like, she completely cuts off. Like, engine off. No more touching, no more nothing. She like straightens up, and she's just like, oh, this was really nice. We'll have to do it again someday. And we not about to, you know, go back to somebody's place. And she's like, no. And I'm like, you confusing. And so she, you know, we left or whatever. She got in her car, I got in my car, we left. She ended up calling me like later on that night. She asked me what I was doing. I was like, nothing. I was like, you want to come over? And she was like, why do you keep trying to approach me sexually? And I'm like, what the fuck? I ain't about to do this. I ain't about to do this at all. So I'm like, okay, don't worry about it. Not a problem. I'll talk to you later. I go to sleep that night. I wake up the next morning and I look at my phone. She done called me at 2:30 in the morning, like 3 times. Then she started texting me, and she sent me a picture of like, you know, with no clothes on, titties out, ass out. And she like, you don't want me to come over? You don't want me to come over? You know, my phone call do not disturb at night. So I ain't even getting none of these messages in the morning. So I'm just like, I'm looking at the phone. I'm like, man, dang, shorty bad. But then I'm like, so I call her. I'm like, hey, I'll sleep, you know what I'm saying? Put my phone on do not disturb. And I was like, I mean, we can link up later on. And she's like, for what? And I'm like, what do you mean for what? I'm like, what? Huh? fine. I don't say nothing. I let it go again. I'm just like, okay, get off the phone with her. I text her like maybe a couple hours later and I'm like, hey, it's a movie coming out tomorrow. You want to go see it? And she's like, what time? And I was like, 10 o'clock. And she was like, I don't come outside my house after, 9 o'clock. I think you're just trying to get me over your house. And I kind of feel like it's weird that you keep trying to over sexualize our getting to know each other phase. Now in my head, I'm like, I got pictures of your titties and ass out naked on my phone, but I'm the one trying to over sexualize our situation. What? I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. So she texts me again at night. Next morning, I ain't even respond. I ain't call her. I ain't do nothing because I was like, I'm not about to play these games. I'm 179 years old. You either trying to bust it out and get slutted out or you're not. I ain't about to do this weird exchange of information. No, not doing it. I ended up blocking her. I just thought it was weird. Y'all can say whatever in the comments because I don't know y'all because y'all gonna come for me. But hey, it is what it is. That's just another sad, depressing, another bad experience dating with Tom. See you in the next one.